So recently, Miss Nancy Pelosi, she ended up her visit to Taiwan, and this visit has become lot of it has actually come across with lot of controversies, and of course China giving some threatening remarks to USA. So why this visit was so threatening, why China is not very happy with the US representative visiting to Taiwan, and what is the history behind it. So, hello everyone, I am Nitika and I welcome you all again to another episode of the Bulldoze Topic of the Week. And in today's episode, I'm going to cover the Taiwan significance for China, USA, and of course India. So, let's get started. So recently, the Speaker of the House of Representatives of the United States of America paid visit to Taiwan, and of course, this is the highest level American official to go to the island since 1997. So after 1997, this is the second visit which any high rank politician from USA has actually paid to Taiwan, and this particular visit is important from the geopolitics point of view, and of course it has raised a lot of eyebrows in the world politics, especially to the countries which are favoring China and to the countries which are quite significant for the Indo-Pacific region. So this visit has definitely, it has escalated the tensions between the US and China, which were of course for quite a long period of time. The tensions between the two nations are quite prolonged, especially starting from 2018 US-China trade war. The countries are kind of in the Cold War ever since then, and we have noticed several policies and change in the tax regime by the nations to counter each other's imports and exports. So of course, the many politicians and even diplomats, they suspect that this visit is also one of the strategy of USA to actually pinpoint the China on its geopolitics over the Indo-Pacific region. So, who is Nancy Pelosi? Let's understand first. So, Miss Nancy Patricia Pelosi, she is an American politician who is currently serving as the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives ever since 2019. And previously, she remained in the office from 2007 to 2011. She has also served as a US representative from California ever since 1987. And she is also the member of Democratic Party. So she is said to be the only woman to have served as a Speaker of the US House. She hails from the D. Alessandro family, and her father, Thomas D. Alessandro Jr., is a renowned politician of his time, and of course a notable long-time politician in the American history. So this visit, of course, let's get started with what is the controversy over the trip and how it changed over. So starting with China's giving threat to the US representatives before the visit, and even the Chinese military, Chinese ships even conducted several drills around the Taiwan island. So even if you know that between the Fujian province and Taiwan, there is a Taiwan Strait, and in that particular strait, actually it beholds the I would say the air defense right to Taiwan, but still China keep on exploiting that air defense route, and it ultimately tries to interfere in the Taiwan province every now and then. So again, China has done quite a similar activity in that particular Taiwan Strait as well as the Taiwan air defense system. So China, by now it always tries to intrude in the Taiwanese, I would say rules and regulation, and even their internal matters. So definitely we'll quickly jump to the relations between China and Taiwan. But here, of course, ever since the Chinese Beijing get to know that the Nancy Pelosi is actually planning her visit to Taiwan, so this has actually created a lot of controversies in China, and even it is said that Xi Jinping, in a statement to the press, even mentioned that if this has happened, it is going to escalate the situation and will prove quite bad for the US politics. So, of course, even with this remark, China had also cancelled and suspended several dialogues which were actually scheduled with USA, and even several missiles have also been fired over the Taiwan. However, no such casualties have been reported, but yes, of course, it was a threat call from China to Taiwan to stop this particular visit, so that China could maintain its diplomacy in the Asia Pacific region. So let's get started with what is this controversy and why China is not very happy with of course, with any other, not even just a US representative, rather any other country's representative visiting Taiwan. So it starts, of course, I will not go very much deep into it, but let's pick up some of the key facts which are important from your GS point of view. So back in 1912, when the China, or I would say at that time it was the Republic of China, it was not named as the People's Republic of China, it was merely named as the Republic of China. So at that time, by overthrowing the Qing dynasty, the KMT party, which is also called as by overthrowing the Qing imperial dynasty at that time, the Taiwan's diplomacy, or Taiwan's rule, has actually shifted to Japan in 1895. However, it remained to Japan for quite a shorter period of time, and during the World War II, it was again, came back to the China. So China took the control of Taiwan in somewhere around in 1949. However, if we talk about the parties which are actually ruling, or kind of the parties which actually sustained in the Republic of China, so they were the KMT, which is the Kuomintang party, and the second one is Communist Party, which is CPC, or it is China's Communist Party, which is CCP, right? So these two parties are quite main parties which actually formed, or kind of, they created a party system in the China. However, during the Civil War in 1949, the Civil War broke out in 1949 between the two nations, and finally it made the KMT party to flee from the Republic of China, and they finally got settled in the Taiwan. So ideally हम इसे इस तरह से ले सकते हैं that initially this entire was Republic of China, right? In 1949, when there was a civil war between the KMT and the CCP, so it had established the CCP, or the Communist Party, in China, and it overthrew the KMT party to Taiwan. So at that time, the Kuomintang party, it actually flee from China and it settled itself in the Taiwan. So वो ताइवान में आकर बैठ गई, एंड ताइवान में उन्होंने अपनी एक पार्टी एस्टैब्लिश की और यहाँ पे रूल करना शुरू कर दिया. On the other hand, in China, in the mainland China, of course, there was the Communist Party, which currently we all know that of, right? So in between 1949, if I just write a timeline from 1949 till near about 1971, the Taiwan and the Republic of China, they kept on struggling or their on the recognition of their identity. And finally, in 1971, when the United Nations gave its seat to the PRC, which is the People Republic of China, it was a clear indication that the United Nations was not really ready to give the recognition to Taiwan as a separate state or as a separate nation. Also, when we talk about the China or the current mainland China, as you all know, it is called as the People's Republic of China, and Taiwan, it names itself as the Republic of China. So which again, it had left openly for of course, to keep it or to hold it as a debate in future, that what is the Republic of China and what is the People's Republic of China, and how they are going to talk about this. So I was talking about 1949 to 1971. So during this time, the nations have tried its best to, of course, get the international recognition. China was totally planning to acquire Taiwan, but Taiwan, on the other hand, want to be declared as a separate nation. To which again, in 1971, when the United Nations recognized the People Republic of China as a whole soul nation and to be given the UN seat, Taiwan was definitely disheartened at that time. Then further, in 1979, when one China policy was ruled out, which states that in the world there will be only one China. There will be no two Chinas like PRC and RC, Republic of China and People's Republic of China. No. So there is going to be only one China, and it was declared in 1979, which was quite or more or less officiated by many countries in the world, that yes, we agree, and we it officializes it that yes, China is, or there will be only one China. However, ever since 1979, China is trying to control the Taiwanese provinces and even tried to more or less try to affect the Taiwan's political system as well, because their ultimate goal is to acquire Taiwan in their provinces, right? So even countries like USA, India, so ever since 1979, these countries have also given an official statement that we will keep our diplomatic relations, the political relations with the People's Republic of China, but we will continue making the trade relations or any kind of cultural relations with Taiwan. So clearly यहाँ पे political arenas में अगर हम देखें तो PRC जो है वो एक limelight में रहेगा, क्योंकि बहुत सारे nations ने इसे clear cut कह दिया है that we are going to officially recognize PRC as a political nation, but Taiwan के साथ, क्योंकि Taiwan is a very potential nation, which I'll share it in a while why. Taiwan बहुत ही potential nation है in the Asian region, so which is why the countries didn't lose its stance with Taiwan also. So उन्होंने ताइवान के साथ trade, educational, cultural relations बनाने के लिए तो agree कर दिया, लेकिन उनके साथ कोई diplomatic relations बनाने के लिए they disagreed to that. And it includes USA also. So याद रहे 1979 में USA in itself they actually gave its official statement कि हम ताइवान के साथ कोई diplomatic relation नहीं बनाएंगे, and they supported PRC, People's Republic of China. लेकिन अभी रिसेंट विजिट जो हुआ है नैन्सी पेलोसी का, सो उससे शायद अब आपको थोड़ा सा आइडिया हो गया दैट व्हाई शी जिनपिंग वाज नॉट हैप्पी, बिकॉज इन इट्स अर्लियर स्टेटमेंट 1979 में जब आपने वन चाइना थ्योरी को आपने उसे अप्रूव किया था, सो एट दैट टाइम इट वाज हेल्ड दैट यस यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू होल्ड एनी डिप्लोमेटिक रिलेशंस. सो हियर यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड डिप्लोमेटिक रिलेशंस का मतलब कोई भी पॉलिटिकल विजिट्स नहीं होंगी. सो द पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स ऑफ द कंट्रीज विल नॉट बी विजिटिंग और विल नॉट बी होल्डिंग एनी डिप्लोमेटिक टॉक्स और फॉर्मल टॉक्स विद द Taiwanese politicians. So this is what we actually mean. So after this, now let us understand राइट. सो बाय नाउ अगेन थोड़ा सा मैं इसे और डिस्कस करूंगी. सो 1979 में जब वन चाइना पॉलिसी आई, उसके बाद एक ब्रेक थ्रू आया, और यू कैन से व्हेन वाज द चेन बीन ब्रोकन. यूएसए ने इस चेन को एक्चुअली में ब्रेक डाउन कब किया? सो ये चेन एक्चुअली ब्रेक डाउन हुई ड्यूरिंग द टाइम ऑफ डोनाल्ड ट्रंप. एज वी नो, डोनाल्ड ट्रंप सेड टू बी द आई वुड से दबंग रहे हैं वो अपने प्रेसिडेंसी टर्म में. एंड उन्होंने उस टाइम पे काफी ऐसी ऑप्रेसिव पॉलिसीज जो कि डेफिनेटली कोई एक दबंग पॉलिटिशियन ही उसे ला सकता था. एंड स्पेशली यू नो अगेंस्ट द चाइना एट दैट टाइम, व्हेन वी नो दैट चाइना इज वन ऑफ द इमर्जिंग इकोनॉमीज इन द वर्ल्ड. सो 2018 में जब उन्होंने चाइना से एक ट्रेड वॉर शुरू किया, उसी दौरान उन्होंने ताइवान के साथ अपनी जो एंगेजमेंट लेवल्स हैं उन्हें बढ़ाना शुरू कर दिया. एंड दिस फर्दर यू नो इट ड्रैग डाउन टू व्हेन Mr. Joe Biden, he was again, you know, he was chosen as the president of the USA. He even invited the Taiwanese representative to his inauguration ceremony. So, which was again a clear-cut indication and message to the Chinese, you know, government that now we are going to extend our relationship with Taiwan apart from the PRC. So, then again, you know, even it was noticed that during the Trump's time, the sales of arms to Taiwan were at its highest peak. So अगर आप थोड़ा सा डेटा अगर हम इसे कलेक्ट करेंगे, so we'll get to know कि during the Donald Trump time, US arms maximum the exports to Taiwan जो रहे हैं वो during Donald Trump के time रहे हैं. So which clearly means again that when USA was having hard relations and tough relations with China, so they were trying to ease and soothe their relations with the Taiwan. So now why Taiwan is so strategic now? अब अगर हम बात करते हैं कि एकदम से ये चाइना को क्या हुआ या यूएसए को क्या हुआ, why they actually want to be so engaging for you know for Taiwan. So Taiwan अगर मैं currently इनके स्टेक की बात करूं, so एशिया में they are one of the emerging economies, and you can say it is the largest economy outside the United Nations. इवन अगर ताइवान की करंट टेक्नोलॉजी की बात करूं, सो इट इज अ लीडिंग टेक्नोलॉजिकल हाईटेक कंट्री इन द एशिया. एंड इट्स ऑफ कोर्स, अगर मैं इनके सेमी कंडक्टर्स की बात करूं, so semiconductors, it accounts for 40% of the world's export of the semiconductor. So which means कि अगर वर्ल्ड में 100 semiconductors exports हो रहे हैं तो उनमें से 40 जो है वो ताइवान से ही जा रहे हैं. ऑफ कोर्स सेमीकंडक्टर्स आज की डेट के ऑफ कोर्स आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के एज में आपको पता ही है कि सेमीकंडक्टर्स जो है या चिप जो है, इवन वी यूज अ टर्म दैट इज चिप. So Taiwan is also called as a chip economy, or you can say a chip based country. So it means कि ताइवान में जो चिप्स हैं, जो माइक्रो चिप्स हैं, वो भी सबसे ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस होते हैं. Even you must have heard the name of the Foxconn, which is one of the renowned names, especially related to the Apple, right? So Foxconn जो है ये भी यू नो इन्हीं प्रोविंसेस में रहा है. एंड इवन Foxconn which was based in Taiwan, it had also decided to invest in India. आपको पता ही है. So we have a one unit in Bengaluru. So it is quite a famous manufacturing unit. So Foxconn, आप यहाँ से थोड़ा सा हमें आइडिया लग सकता है that Taiwan is very important for all the tech giants in the world, as Taiwan is going to provide the semiconductors, chips, the technology which actually they are thriving for. एंड नॉट टू मिस, अगर मैं आपको ताइवान की मैं अगेन आपको इसके प्लेसिंग की बात करूं, so where it is placed actually, you can see here that it is surrounded by major countries. So it is China here, then we have Japan, we have Philippines here, and this is your Taiwan Strait. So अगर आप इसे थोड़ा सा geographically globe में देखेंगे, so इसका आप इसको इस तरह से ले सकते हैं that here will be your यूएसए, आपका जो अमेरिकन कॉन्टिनेंट है वो इस साइड आपका थोड़ा सा फॉल आउट करेगा. सो कहीं ना कहीं ताइवान, अगर यूएसए ताइवान के साथ एक अच्छे लिंक्स ड्रॉ करता है, so it is going to help USA and Taiwan to maintain its diplomacy in the Indo-Pacific region. So not only this, आपको even you know that not only US, even India is after creating a better relations in the Indo-Pacific region, especially by implementing the Act East policy. So India's Act East policy is nothing but to maintain a diplomatic, a cordial relations with the nation, and even with one of the project named as Mosam. So Mosam project has been implemented to, of course, give more connectivity benefits to the oceanic nations in the world. So oceans are not only important for the trade point of view, rather it is important from the security point of view as well. So of course, अगर मैं shipments की या अगर मैं trade की बात करूँ, definitely oceans are important from the trade point of view, but उससे भी ज़्यादा maritime security cooperation point of view से oceans बहुत important है. Not to miss Taj attack जो हुआ था, if you remember that all the terrorists, they actually they came in, they entered in our subcontinent via the ship route only. So it is very important to keep up, or to micro monitor our coastlines, our border areas, and to even create such cordial relations with those nations which are sharing some of the oceans, or the entire region, of course, which is going to give us benefits from the security point of view. So I think if you see what is the USA strategy to actually channelize their trade, to bring more cordial relations with Taiwan, so it actually pretty much fits into the frame that why USA is now heading to Taiwan, and it is setting aside China for the same reasons only, right? So moving on to the next. So trade and geopolitics, as we know that I was just discussing about Taiwan's significance in the entire region. So here are some quick facts. So speaking of the integrated circuits, the Taiwan is the world's the integrated circuit particularly is the world's most traded product. And if I talk about its export, so the 1/5 of this product actually comes from Taiwan. So with this, of course, it will be quite easy for you to understand why Taiwan is so important. Also, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, which is the it is the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, which is TSMC. So it individually it holds around 90% of the entire market. So this semiconductor corporation individually holds 90% of the semiconductor market, which is of course a very big number. Then next, Taiwan also dominates the chip market, and currently if I speak of its overall share, so it shares 40% in the global chip market, right? And currently, if I talk about the trade between Taiwan and China, however, the balance of trade is quite favorable from Taiwan's side. But definitely, Taiwan's exports are majorly towards China, and it sums across 28%. But still, which is why I would say that Taiwan cannot be so negative towards China, as its major exports are held by China, and even there are several imports from China which are quite crucial for Taiwan. So currently, after this news of Nancy Pelosi visiting the Taiwan, China had actually upheld some of the exports and imports coming and going to Taiwan, right? However, if I talk about the India and Taiwan, we have not held any diplomatic relations with Taiwan for a very long period of time, because India also follows the One China policy ever since 1979 and does not have any formal relations with Taiwan. But definitely there is India Taipei Association, which is headed by senior diplomats, and even there is, there is particularly Taipei Economic and Cultural Center, which is based in New Delhi for a cultural exchange between India and Taiwan. And also in the Indo-Taiwanese ties, which basically focused on the trade, the commerce, culture and education, has also been, it has also been formatted. And in the recent time, even after China's quite, I would say, belligerence in Galwan Valley, so India has stepped up its relation with Taiwan, just like USA. And the Indian government had also handpicked some of the diplomat to become its envoy in the Taipei. And even the ruling party's two member of parliament, they also attended the swearing in ceremony of the Taiwan president when she was again, re-elected as the president of Taiwan. So at that time, our two MPs were available in the swearing in ceremony, which is again a positive sign to show that yes, we are heading towards building a great relation with Taiwan. And of course, following the footsteps of USA, India will also think of maintaining a diplomatic relations with Taiwan in case, we sever our ties with China, and especially, during the post-COVID scenario, when we know that China is again following the same footsteps of I would say, going against India's ideology and India's policy. So at this point of time, China is not very happy with even India making its stance in Taiwan, right? So India also follows the One China policy, and like I said, that it does not follow any particular ties. But again, now is the time for India to actually show up and come forward for Taiwan, with Taiwan, to actually maintain some relations, especially after China has tried to make its strong bond with Pakistan with the help of CPEC. So we will definitely cover the CPEC, which is China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, in some another video. So do comment in our comment section if you want a particular video on the CPEC. So especially after the CPEC, which is the China and Pakistan Economic Corridor to actually boost the trade. However, it is said that the boosting trade is merely one angle. Rather, China wants an interference through via the Indian Jammu and Kashmir route, and basically they want to create its dominance surrounding the Indian border lines and the Indian coastal lines through one or the other projects, right? And even India is not very happy with the Belt Road Initiative, which again one of the China's debt trap policy, Belt Road Initiative. So these two are quite in context to the India's or to the pearl of string theories को भी इससे काफी बार जोड़ा जाता है, that China is basically trying to circumferate the India's borderline and the coastline. So इसीलिए now it is the time that India must go ahead and take a further step, especially after this USA's, I would say, daring step, especially when China was threatening the representative and even giving the military threats also. So I think this is now India's time to just move ahead, go further towards the towards maintaining the diplomatic relations with Taiwan, right? So that is all for today, guys. I hope that you like this session. If you do like this, please don't forget to share it to your friends who are also preparing for the current affairs. And for more such content, don't forget to hit the bell icon. So again, we are signing off for the day. For any other queries, please comment on the comment section. Thank you so much, everyone.